Hi Paul, this is Alan Cockrell with ABC, former hitting coach of the Colorado Rockies and the Seattle Mariners. Let's take a look at your video today. Paul, the first thing that I always pay attention to is just making sure that we're under balance, starting with setup. Balance is keeping the knees inside the feet and the head inside the knees. That's a pretty good starting point. Okay, we want to try to get a good two-eyed look at the pitcher with our eyes at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. You're 9 o'clock, and you're in a good position right there. Okay, we'll run this forward into the load up phase. In the load, what we're trying to do is we're trying to gather and store weight or energy into the inside part of this back leg. All right, as I do that, okay, you got a nice little toe tap there. That looks good. Okay, now as we start to run forward, a couple things happen. I'm sure you've heard the term get your foot down. Okay, with most hitters, the toe will land first, but it's not until that back heel firmly plants down into the ground am I loaded. Okay, now right here you're loaded. Okay, what we can see from this particular point is, number one, we've started our load a little bit late, because you can see here the ball is already starting to get into the hitting area. Okay, so we started probably after the pitch had left the pitcher's hand. We started to get ready. I want to get ready so that I have enough time to recognize the pitch and then react in a proper way, mechanically. Okay, so once we get to heel plant, we're looking for a couple things again. Looking to make sure I have good equal bend in both knees. I'm looking to make sure that this front hip or these hips are square to home plate. We got just a little bit of a leaky front hip right here, your front hip. And the other thing that I look at is to make sure that the stride foot right here is no more open than 45 degrees. Okay, as you can see, your stride foot, let me run this back, my fault. Your stride foot has landed at a 56 degrees. Okay, we want to try to keep this at 45. If the stride foot stays at 45, then I've got a pretty good chance. Okay, my stride foot lands right here somewhere at a 45 degree angle. I've got a pretty good chance of keeping that front hip in there and keeping those hips squared up. Okay, the other thing that causes us to want to open up quickly is loading late. The ball's starting to get into the hitting area. It's time to hit, and my brain says hurry up. So when I hurry up, I generally will hurry up with my front side. I'll open it up a little bit too soon. Okay, so now we'll move it into the swing phase. First thing that happens in the swing is with the lower half, I want to drive this back knee of all that weight that I gathered into there. I want to now shift or transfer this weight to the inside thigh of my stride leg. Okay, as that happens, the back elbow will drop into a slot next to the rib cage and the back hip. Okay, we'll run this forward. As our hands start to go forward, now I should have a connection with back shoulder, elbow, and back hip all in alignment. Okay, I don't really want to have my hands working in front of that connection until I get that connection. I want the shoulder, the elbow, the hip lined up, and now the hands will start to work in front of my body. As soon as that connection takes place, now my hands will start to work out here past my center of gravity, and will work out here in front of my body to deliver the bat to the ball. Okay, so we'll run it forward. We'll run it forward. Ball got in on us just a little bit into the handle area. The ball got a little bit deep. This pitch looks to be probably inner half, inner third, and we're inside this front foot at contact. So that tells me a couple things, that obviously we started our load a little bit too late. We want to have a good load, early, slow, with timing and rhythm. So make sure that when you're on deck and you're getting ready to hit, that you're working on getting the timing of getting hands back, getting that gather to the inside part of your back leg, and your hands are getting ready to go. Now when that foot lands, that it's not more open than a 45, but the heel is down before we start any move into the ball. That's going to keep our hips squared up longer, and it's going to allow us to contact this ball inner third more out here in front of our front foot, 3 to 4 inches out in front of our front foot. Okay. Now I do see some good things at this point, even though the ball's gotten deep on you. I see palm up, palm down. That's a very good, strong position to be in with our hands. I see head and eyes looking down the barrel of the bat at contact. I think it is important for you to know, Paul, that as soon as the head and eyes come up off the ball to track the flight of the ball, then our swing is over, because the barrel of our bat is going to go in the same direction as our head and eyes. So it's a good habit to get into keeping the head and eyes down in the hitting zone at least one count past contact, so I get good full extension through the baseball. Okay. Now we'll run this to the extension phase. Okay, our hands we had to cut our swing off just a little bit. You can see the barrel of the bat is extended, but the hands aren't quite fully extended out here. We got just a little bit of lean back, a little bit of tilt with our body and our head on our backside, because we're trying to get the barrel out through the ball. The ball got just a little bit deep. Okay, so we're going to pull it or run it a little bit more forward. And you see, because the ball got deep, your hands finished from here. They finished from contact, then they're finishing off out of the hitting zone. What we want to see is that barrel of the bat full extension right there. Okay, now we want to see a good, long, full extension with the barrel of that bat. This would be kind of the arc of how the barrel would go. All right, you can see we just pulled ours across just a little bit quickly, and it's a timing issue. It's an issue of making sure that the heel is down and planted early enough that we can put ourselves in a good position. We can make good, solid moves to the ball. All right, so here's what I suggest. We're going to go all the way back to this position right here. When this heel plants down into the ground, right there. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this stride foot is no more open than 45. Okay, I'm going to get into that position. I'm going to feel my hips square to home plate. All right, and now from here I'm going to make sure I got good equal bend in both knees. Okay, then I'm going to start to get my hands involved. All right, I'm going to drop this elbow down in the slot. I'm going to get a good connection with that shoulder, elbow, and back hip. And then I want you to feel like you're throwing your hands or throwing the barrel through the ball. Okay, it's like would be like skipping a rock. You know, we want that elbow to go into here, and it will. I'm going to skip a flat rock across the lake. In order to do that, that elbow's got to get into this slot. But then from this point, nothing goes forward except the hands. So we're going to continue to see here now the elbow is here. Our hands are starting to work in front, but I just want you to feel the extension of the bat barrel staying through this ball and getting a good, full, long finish and follow through in our arc. Okay. Best way to do this would be to set a tee, and I would set this tee on the inside part of the plate. And I would try to hit line drives through the shortstop or line drives into left center field. But again, we don't have to open so quickly with that front hip in order to hit this ball. We just got to get to a good position early enough that I can keep this stride foot closed up a little bit longer. I can keep good bend in both knees, and I can keep that front hip from wanting to leak open just a little bit quick. All right, bud? Hopefully this drill will help you. I think it will. I want to thank you for coming to our camp, and good luck.